Thanks for tuning into the Disembodied Screams podcast. Those returning, thank you. Those new to this podcast, welcome. Now let's get started with Black Sabbath. Keep thinking of that Dio in concert. Not sure which Dio one that was, where they did the Black Sabbath song, but he did that a few times. That keeps running through my head this morning. All right, let me start where I normally start with these things, and the cover. And let's go ahead and dive into this awesome cover. This is horror through and through, folks. Let's see, we have got this like spooky girl in the foreground here, and she's got almost like a greenish, goblinish kind of face to her, very witchy-like, kind of draped in black. There's this kind of spooky building in the background that could be empty, could not be empty, I'm not sure. Looks like it might be done during the fall because there's a lot of oranges and reds in the trees. The ground is black and there's spatters of pinkish, reddish stuff and whitish stuff. And there's a lot of dead stuff around her, and she's just kind of staring at you right in the face, looking deep into your soul. So I can imagine back when this came out in the early 70s. I'm not sure exactly the date on it. Maybe come up in my script here in a minute. But this must have spooked a lot of people because you didn't see a lot of stuff like this back in the 1970s. So the cover is a 6 without further delay. I mean, how could you not give that a 6? That's horror through and through. That's the, can't think of the studio off the top of my head that did those kind of movies back in the day. And then the title, it's also a 6. I mean, Black Sabbath, come on, how creepy and ominous is that? I mean, Sabbath is normally associated with good, positive, wholesome things, lovely things in this world. The Sabbath is a peaceful day of rest and church and all that. Then you throw black in front of it. It's like, okay, what is a Black Sabbath? That sounds very ominous. So it's a 6. So we got a cover as a 6. Title is a 6. My scale is 1 to 6 in case I didn't mention that, which I didn't. I just realized that. Thankfully, I put some notes here in the comments, so I'll remind myself to do that. But on this scale, 1 is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, 6 is Freddy's Nightmares. So most of these things kind of fall between that 1 to 6 range, being, super calm, super peaceful to extremely horrific. And this is a 6. Cover and title are both 6. They're very horrific. They're dancing heavily inside Freddy's Nightmares. And album information comes from Wikipedia this week. I think there might be some stuff on Apple as well, but I think Wikipedia seemed like it had the better stuff, the better nougat to dive into. It says, Black Sabbath is a debut studio album by the English heavy metal band Black Sabbath. Released on the 13th of February, 1970. There you go. It was 1970. So can you imagine this? In the year of our Lord, 1970, seeing this drop on record shelves and that big vinyl pressing, that probably spooked a lot of people. It was released by Vertigo Records in the United Kingdom on the 1st of June, 1970. So hit the States and the UK in the 1970. I was 2 years from being born. The album is widely regarded as the first true metal album, and the opening title track, Black Sabbath, was named the greatest, get this, heavy metal song of all time by Rolling Stone. Hard to argue against that. And has been referred to as the first doom metal song. So in 1970, you get a cover like this, you get a song like this, you get doom metal like this. Man, I would love to go back in time and just see what people's faces were like when they first heard this very first song for the very first time. It would be amazing to witness. There is some Apple information, actually, and I did pull it. So pat on the back for me, right? All right, it says, much like the horror genre, the band name itself was stolen from a 1963 Italian anthology by Master of the Macabre, Mario Bava. If you've not watched Mario Bava's movies, do it. Good stuff. These songs were generally designed to incite fear, terror, suspense, excitement. First, the scene is set a dark and stormy night. Heavy rain, thunder, and creepy church bells lay the foundation of Black Sabbath. The first song on Black Sabbath's first album, Black Sabbath, it's almost 40 seconds before the guitar riff strikes. Soon, Ozzy Osbourne starts singing about a mysterious figure in black, pointing and staring at him. The lyrics were inspired by a vision bassist Geezer Butler had experienced in his room. then paint it completely black, decorated with occultist books and satanic images. And let me say this, if you're in a room like that, the images that would come to your head, and he'd probably be tripping acid at the time or doing some weed or something. So could you imagine what was running through his head sitting in a room like that? I can only imagine. A few lines later comes Osborne's very first ungodly howl. Oh, no, no, please, God, help me. I cannot do it as well as Ozzy, but that's that's kind of the way it goes. It's a song so intense and demonic, it not only terrified and intrigued millions, it instantly created the doom metal subgenre and led to countless Sabbath worshiper attempts to emulate its impact ever since. And I dare say, this is probably not a hot take, that most of the bands I cover on this podcast, even when I cover Rush, there probably is a lot of influence with Black Sabbath. And they probably influenced a lot of people. If you play guitar, drums, bass, something like that, or make music, let me know in the comments below on Spotify or YouTube if Black Sabbath influenced you. I'd be curious to hear that. And if you have a band out there, throw your name down in the comments and let's share it with people if you're a brand new band. Because I might cover them on the podcast if they're very horror-centered. All right, let's get on to it. Black Sabbath personnel, this is the way the band shakes up. Ozzy Osbourne on vocals and harmonica. I didn't know Ozzy played harmonica. Tony Iommi on guitars. Geezer Butler on bass. Bill Ward is on drums. Track listing is like this. There's a European edition and an American edition. European edition was Side A, Black Sabbath, The Wizard, Behind the Wall of Sleep, NIB. Side B, Evil Woman, which was a Crow cover. I don't know Crow. Maybe you do. Sleeping Village. Warning was song 7 on Side B. The Ansley Dunbar Retaliation cover. I should look into that. I don't know what that is exactly. And the album totaled 38 minutes and 8 seconds. And the US edition had Black Sabbath, The Wizard, Wasp, Behind the Wall of Sleep, basically NIB, all into song 3, is according to that edition. Wicked World, and then song 5 was A Bit of Finger, Sleeping Village, and Warning was all in that one song. So a little bit different from the US to UK. They don't have I don't see a length for that one, but it's probably right around the same 39 minutes. Singles from Black Sabbath, Evil Woman, with the B-side of Wicked World, released January 2nd, 1970. So there was a single. So at this point in time of the episode, I kind of pause my thought train and I look at all the songs again and I try to figure out how horrific are these songs. And I gave these songs a 4 because, I mean, listen, Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath is basically a point in its own self because that song, nightmare vibes for many people. The Wizard, not so much. Behind the Wall of Sleep, I mean, that's kind of got creepy Nightmare on Elm Street-ish kind of vibes. NIB, that's the one about the Lucifers. That NIB? Which one am I thinking? Is it NIB the one about the sing about the love song to Lucifer? I can't remember off the top of my head now. I should have researched that a little bit better before I dive into the episode. But get NIB, Evil Woman, sounds kind of creepy. Sleeping Village, I mean, if you had a monster going and laying the village to sleep so you can attack him at night, that can be kind of creepy. Warning, of course, not so horrific. US edition is the same thing. So with all those, songs, I kind of looked through it and gave it a 4. I think a 4 is a good thing for it because the songs are definitely leaning heavier towards Freddy's Nightmares than definitely Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Black Sabbath alone, like I said, that bumped at a point. So even if it was a 3, it would get an extra point for that. But the songs are a 4. I feel like I'm just on some kind of sugar rush right now. I feel like I'm really rushing through this. I hope it doesn't come off like that, but I haven't recorded in a bit, so I guess I'm a little amped up to do it. All right, and I also put a reason for giving these songs a 4 was from this blurb from Apple Music. So as I was looking at the songs, I was kind of like, what's a 3? Is it a 4? Is it a 5? What is it? And then I read this blurb, and I was like, you know what? I'm leaning between 3 to 4, so I'll go with a 4 after reading this. So the blurb goes like this. Despite the hasty recording session, an incredible level of creativity went into the stories behind these songs. Led Zeppelin might be the biggest Tolkien fanatics in rock, but Iomi, who was reading Lord of the Rings at the time, found inspiration for the wizard in Gandalf. Evil power disappears. Demons worry when the wizard is near. He turns tears into joy. Everyone's happy when the wizard walks by. Man, I love that song, The Wizard. One of my favorites by him. Behind the Wall of Sleep. This was it. This was the part here that really sold it for me on these songs. Because if they're thinking this heavily about horror within these songs, like, yeah, they got to be at least a 4. Behind the Wall of Sleep pays homage to H.P. Lovecraft. You're throwing out some H.P. Lovecraft, then you deserve you deserve a 4. Maybe a little more than that. I might have gone a little low on that. But NIB is a twisted... There it is. Yes, I was right about that. NIB is a twisted, cream-inspired love song from the perspective of Lucifer himself. So we've got H.P. Lovecraft. We've got Lucifer. We've got a Black Sabbath. So the songs are definitely a 4. And honestly, I probably went a little low looking back at it. But this is the point in the episode now where I tally up all my numbers, the cover, the title, and the songs. I put them in a big witch's brew. I stir them about, pull out the mucusy, pussy number that is dripping off my hand. And I get a 5.4. And with that 5.4, that puts Black Sabbath into the current, this is the official current horrific top 5. From here forward, this will be right. I kind of messed it up in the past, but right now the current horrific top 5 goes like this. Black Sabbath is 5.4. Dying Fetus, Make Them Beg for Death is 5.4. So we got a tie for number 1. Black Dahlia Murders. I've said this before. I crunched the numbers on a future episode. 5.6. Little spoiler alert. So they will eventually be number 1 in the future. King Diamond Abigail 5.2. King Diamond Abigail 2, 5. And Cannibal Corpse Chaos Horrific with something for sacrifice was in my head when I said that. 4.9 for that one. Summon for sacrifice. That's what I was trying to think of. All right. I'm starting to ramble. 12 minutes in. Let's get on to this thing and drop anchor here and close out this episode. Sorry if I was a little bit scatterbrained or if I was a little bit on a sugar rush. I was kind of feeling it today. So when you're feeling it, right? So if you like what you hear, don't forget to tap the follow button if you haven't already. And if you do enjoy doing it, don't forget to rate and review this podcast. Basically what I'm saying is if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, share it, do whatever you can. If you're on Spotify, like, comment, do whatever you can. Whatever platform you're on, just figure out a way to give this podcast some love. All right, take care. Thanks for listening. Go listen to some Black Sabbath today and let me know in the comments below just how amazing this album is, because it is an amazing album from start to finish.